What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Game Time with John Eads. Be sure to like and subscribe. You're going to want to be subscribed to the channel and locked into the show because football is here. Fall camp started earlier this week. LSU's already had a couple of practices. The media has been allowed to go to most of those practices. And on day one, we get our typical 15 minutes or so to watch practice, record it. Then they tell us to cut the cameras off. But practice goes on for another 2 hours after that point. And in this particular day, we were allowed to see the entire practice, and they let us do that every so often. Some days we're only allowed to be there for 15, 20 minutes, see a couple periods of practice and record it, get video of that. But some days we do get to see the whole practice. Either way, we get to go to most of the fall practices. Personally, myself, my boss, Jacques Doucet, some other guys in the sports staff, we were at every spring practice. So we've been following this team since the end of the season last year. We've seen everything we can see, we're allowed to see. We've recorded most of it. So we've got exclusive video for you. We've got exclusive insight. That's what I'm bringing to you today. So we were at both fall camp practices this week on Thursday and Friday, and a lot of really good things to see. I'm going to share those with you right now. So I guess we'll start with the starting defense, because day one, you'd think that they would kind of ease into things, not really let us see anything, do some special teams, do some individual drills, tackling dummies, all that kind of stuff. No, Brian Kelly and his team came out, and one of the first things they did was 11 on 11 first team, 11 on 11 second team. So we got a good chance to see who the starters are at the different positions and get a good look at kind of what this team is going to look like on a Saturday-to-Saturday basis, or I guess in the case of the first game, a Sunday-to-Saturday basis, because they play USC on a Sunday there. But in any case, what I noticed from that scrimmage was that Garrett Nussmeier was obviously the quarterback, and he was leading things super well. What was notable to me, though, was that they were really stressing tempo, getting to the line of scrimmage quickly. Now, I'm not sure if that was just a 2-minute drill kind of thing, or if that's how they're going to be the entire season, but the coaches were screaming, yelling, get to the line, get the next play off, so much so that, I needed to, make sure I kept my camera up in between plays, because they were snapping and running the next play in 5-6 seconds, so it was easy to get caught behind. Now, one more thing on Nussmeier. Mentioned the tempo. They moved the ball down the field methodically. I think they beat the first-team defense on this particular drive, because they ended up scoring a touchdown with a pass to Mac Markway, a tight end. Nussmeier is so dialed in. I'm watching some other drills after the scrimmage, short passing, intermediate passing, skeleton kind of stuff, just getting the ball out, and it is right where it needs to be at the right time. He's anticipating where his receivers will be. He knows where the ball needs to go. I think this guy is in for a huge season. Just watching him a little bit in these drills, he's not missing many throws. He's making the throws to the place where the receiver's not even at, and then the receiver turns and the ball is right there before the defense could even catch up. So he's carving up LSU's defense, taking some chances, working on some things. But the point is, I just watching him, I get the sense that this guy is ready to take the reins of this offense and lead this team this season. Now, on the defensive side, everyone's kind of wondering who is starting at corner, who's starting at D-line. This is what I saw. Deshaun Womack, sophomore, starting at defensive end. And then you had Jacobian Guillory, I think he's a 5th or 6th year senior. He's been there a long time at D-tackle. Gio Paez, the Wisconsin transfer, at the other D-tackle position. And then you had Savion Jones, the St. James alum, at the other defensive end spot. So that was the D-line. Harold Perkins and Greg Penn at linebacker. Not really any surprises there. The star position, that's a new kind of position in Blake Baker's scheme here, Major Burns. So he's moving from kind of a safety to a defensive end, linebacker, safety kind of hybrid, but I think that's a good spot for him. Safeties were Jordan Gilbert, the Texas A&M transfer, former U-High Cub, and Jordan Allen was the other safety. Now, cornerback, Zy Alexander, the Southeastern transfer, has been rehabbing a knee injury since last season, so he wasn't with the starters. He was at practice Friday, today, the day we're recording this, and he was moving around. It looks like he's getting back into the flow of things. Sage Ryan was at one of the corner spots, a guy that's played some safety, some corner in his time at LSU, and then Ashton Stamps at the other starting cornerback spot. He switched his number from 26 to 1. You'd think if he's wearing number 1, he's probably got a great deal of responsibility on his plate. So that was your starting defense. And from there were a couple of other drills, a couple of other notable things to see. But really what I wanted to see was what would that starting defense look like. One other thing I'll tell you is that P.J. Woodland, another corner, looked really good. He had an awesome interception. We weren't allowed to record it this time, which sucks because I was literally right in front of where this play happened. Garrett Nussmeier, I believe it was, threw a ball up down the sideline to Mason Taylor, double coverage, and Woodland snagged it, got his feet down. It was a really impressive play for such a young guy. A lot of people are high on him. We talked him up all spring. He's an incoming freshman. He looks like he could hold down one of those cornerback spots if needed. He's got the physical tools. What I loved, though, was how Corey Raymond was coaching him. Yes, he made that spectacular play, but then on the next play, these are Corey Raymond's words, he kind of took the play off. He was a little bit lazy. So I just love the fact that Corey Raymond is applauding a good play, but not letting these freshmen, some of these players that do some of these things, get out of themselves and think, all right, I made that play, I'm good now. Because Brian Kelly said in his press conference, in the SEC, you can't take any plays off. So if you make a good play, you've got to continue to make those good plays. You can't go ahead and go, all right, well, I got my pick. I don't really care about this next play. No, it's got to be 100% effort every play, and Corey Raymond is making P.J. Woodland and all these other corners understand that. So I hadn't really had a chance to see up close and personal Raymond's coaching style, but he's in these guys' grills, man, and he's coaching them very hard, and he's making them understand that not a single down, not a single play can be taken off, because we saw what happens when that happens last year when the LSU defense got shredded. One last thing, there's probably more we'll get into next week. Don't worry, this isn't the one and only time we're going to do this. Like and subscribe, though, so you know when we post and the latest intel, all that stuff, we'll give it to you. Javian Toviano had some legal trouble, was booted off the team a couple weeks ago for a legal matter. Brian Kelly said he's reinstated to the university and the football team. He was back at practice on Thursday, and I did see him get some video of him practicing with the corners on Friday, a guy that played 13 games last year, started 3, so losing him was kind of a big deal because that's a guy you probably will rely on this year in some capacity at the cornerback spot. So he's back with the team, back practicing, same with Zy Alexander. Corner and D-tackle. We've talked about it all offseason, really. Those are the two positions that need to be better this season. So it seems like they're going to lean on a transfer in Paez and the experience of Guillory and piece together around those guys with Womack and Jones, some talented players. Cornerback, there's 4, 5, maybe 6 guys that could win the 2 starting jobs. It's too early to tell right now who will take those, but so far it's been Sage Ryan and Ashton Stamps, then P.J. Woodland, I guess, would be your top 3, with Alexander trying to work his way back to full health. That is all the fall camp observations for now. I've got so many more to share with you, and we will get back into that next week. Keep it locked right here, all off-season, all fall, and then once the season starts, man, because we're coming heavy with LSU football content and a bunch of other content as well right here on Game Time with John Eads.